Illegal detention of MAZI NNAMDI KANU, Tinubu's Justice James Omotosho risk ICC arrest. So what do you think about the arrest of MAZI NNAMDI KANU? Do you think it's going to be free come October 10?
Yeah, Kanu has been freed by the law as per se since 2022. Kanu won in the court, presided over by Binta Nyako, a female justice from northern Nigeria. But still, the power to be then, that was Muhammad Buhari, refused Kanu's, freedom. He still instructed that the DSS, would be holding this young man who has not committed any crime, since 2022. So this time around, illegal detention of MAZI NNAMDI KANU, International Criminal Court canvasses Justice Omotosho, President Tinubu arrests. Could be that they insist on holding MAZI NNAMDI KANU instead of letting him go. Because Kanu is free based on what the law says. It is the right of every citizen, everybody on earth, to canvass, to agitate for self-determination. It is allowed in America. It is allowed in Asia country. It is allowed in Africa here, especially Africa country that you know that this is an era of neocolonialism. No country in Africa is free since 1960. After the War of Africa States independence, the West African states, the Eastern African states, the Northern African states, the Central African states, after the war of these regions, regaining their independence in 1960s, late 50s, the British, the Spanish, the Portuguese actually allowed them, but still they are holding them. It's the two words. They allow them, they still are holding Africans. So that's why most African Pan-Africanists are struggling, fighting for another independence. That is what exactly Ibrahim Traore is fighting right now. For other African states to join Burkina Faso to get their freedom. We are not free from the tutelage of the British imperialism. We are not free. That's why you see MAZI NNAMDI KANU fighting hard. Because Nigeria got her independence in 1960 does not mean that you and I are free from the hand grip, serious one, of the British. The British are still in control here. And I know that layman, the low levels, will be asking, what is this man saying? Is Queen Elizabeth here? Was Dominic Cameron here in Nigeria? What about Theresa May? Did she come here? No! They are using the Tinubus, the Muhammad Buharis, the Obasanjos, the Goodluck Jonathans. They are using them to hold us captive. These are their errand boys. They position them at the front. At the back door, they are remoting Nigeria. They are the ones that are collecting their own percentages from all our mineral resources realization after exploitation and importation. After sales of the crude oil, better percentages go to Britain. Britain is the one enjoying our natural resources. They are not here per se, but they are using our political leaders. So don't think that Britain has left. Britain is still here. Neo-colonialism. Recolonization. You see those two words, neo and re. R-E. They are still holding us. That's why now MAZI NNAMDI KANU is saying, Nigeria, let's go. Igbo man should go. We should be on our own. We actually fought Britain for 60 years during the time of exploration and actually colonization era. Because exploration was the very particular time they came. There was no government in place. We were still living in, among our kinsmen in our area there, in the lower part of Niger. They came, they disbanded our political system. Actually, they have seen that we are very, very spiritually inclined. We are spiritual people. We believe that God of Abraham is our God. So the British, they fought the Igbo man for over 60 years and actually overcome the Igbos using the Bible. It was introduction of Bible, Christianity into our political system in Igbo land that calmed down our quest for freedom, of oppression, suppression of the British man. The British used their supremacism, and we actually use our, local whatever to fight these people. Yes. And we prevail on the British. For good 60 years, Britain could not bring Igbo man down. Yes, they use Christianity and the Bible, and we embrace Christianity. That's why we actually begin to live in harmony with the British, who impose on us DO, 1DC, divisional officer, 1DC, and so on and so forth. We obey the SS, the local chief. They obey the British, who introduced their language to subjugate our own local language, and they replicated it. And that's why you and I are speaking English today. It is not our original language. I'm an Igbo man. I adapted English from the British. It is the same formula of what? Called oppression, suppression. So imperialists, British imperialists, they succeeded on, subjugating us into adapting their language. I can't say religion because I know we are naturally from God after migration from Middle East. We're all Judaists. We know God. We know him, God of Abraham. So that's why I will not say the British man introduced his religion into me, into the Igbo system, and change our mindset. We know God before the arrival of the British. We serve God, we worship God, only that the method was what differed. We pray, pour what they call libations and the pageries, using our local incantations and so on and so forth. But still, before any other thing, we are going to address God, Chukwukabiam. Chukwukabiam meaning God of Abraham. So that's why Igbo man, nobody give us religion. We are Judaists. The religion we have been practicing in the past was Abrahamic. Yes, God of Abraham. So what am I trying to say here? MAZI NNAMDI KANU is fighting for you and I. He's fighting for the whole African. Ibrahim Traore is fighting for the whole West Africans, Southern Africans, the whole Eastern Africans, Northern Africans. We are still under the tutelage of the imperialists, Western Europe. The Spanish, the Portuguese, the British, the Belgian, the French, and so on and so forth. Except Germany, except Russia. British man is what? A parasite. They depend on the continent of Africa, resources that are at least, stolen from this continent, are refined and undergo processes of change, for utilization in Europe. The precious soul, often stolen from Congo DR, is refined in Belgium. Yes, it's refined in Belgium. It's not refined in Congo. It's not refined in Burkina Faso. The plutonium, uranium, and so on and so forth that are stolen from Burkina Faso is refined in France. And France is giving them only $1 billion. France is stealing $18 billion every year from Burkina Babes. Is it right? Look at the kind of vast natural resources we have in Nigeria today. We could not convert this country into a third world country because what? We are still under the oppression, suppression, and exploitation of the British, who are stealing our natural resources from us using the politicians. Ndochi. And only Britain is using them to oppress Nigerians. So don't think that we are still in control. We are not. African continent is still under the control of the imperialists. Who are the imperialists? There are many. Spanish, the French, the British, the Belgian, and so on and so forth. The Portuguese came, they hold Angola. The Spanish came, they hold Sao Tome and Principe. Yes. The English or the British came, they hold Nigeria, hold Ghana. They are still holding us. And we are pretending as if we have gotten independence. Look at our politicians. They are dancing to their costume. Our politicians are going to London every day to pay their tithe there. Before any Nigerian president could rule Nigeria after election, the observers that were here, are they not all Europeans? They are. And after the election, they actually know they rig it. Still, they support them. That is the low mentality of a black man. No how. No matter how they did it, you can never see anybody to come and throw challenge and say, you, European observers, you should go back to Europe because you've come here to oppress us the more. After the election, you are going to support the riggers, people that illegally claim that they have been voted to power, and not actually the minds or choices, right choices made by Nigerians. They are people that the whites, the British, the Spanish, the Spaniards, the French actually chose to use against the local Nigerians. That is how they always steal our diamond, our gold, our tin, uranium, and so on and so forth into Western Europe, using our politicians as bait.
Thank you, Mr. Rav.